I'm Steve. You are Sir.
I am Iggy.
Good. And this is the Deployed from Detroit School of Leadership and Madness. Oh, microphone. I almost forget every button every time. Damn. Shit. So, what's up, brother? How you been? It's been for too long for.
Yeah. It's been pretty busy. I'm finally got my VA rating. I am officially a disabled veteran.
Yay!
Hey.
Now you get all kinds of. Nah.
No, you don't get. I mean, you get money, but you don't really get anything until you get 100%. If you can get to 100%.
Yeah. And then
Which
like,
I got 70, which
bad.
I think is insanely good for the first time. I figured it would be like, like an insurance company or something. You're going to get jerked over for the first offer. You're waiting for the second one.
Yeah.
Where this one, and I read the criteria for what it is for 100%, and I only fit like one or two of those, or I think it was just one. So I agree with their assessment. I was totally the 70%.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite the 100. So, but my thing is that I still can't work. So they're going to file for the
Unemployability
for it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. So, but for the people that have never done it, I went through a lawyer, and I just heard too many people try to do it on their own, and they came back and said, no, I don't know exactly what my lawyer did.
Right.
But I guess it helped, but I'm sure anybody that they talked to.
Did they charge you?
Huh?
Did they charge you?
Charge me what?
For their services to, like, submit your forms and all that stuff?
Oh, well, they took a percentage. I think it was 20 or 25. I think it was 20% of any back pay you get.
Oh, okay. That's not a bad deal.
No, not at all.
So it's essentially free. It might as well be free. Like, you're not out anything, really.
Yeah. You don't have to go in, because most of us are bad off anyway. I mean, when I first filed, I wasn't in any position to give anybody any money.
Right. Yeah.
And but it took 6 months. So my ordeal.
That's remarkable, by the way, too, because it took me 2 years.
Well, now I think because I talked to the lady at the VA in Lapeer, VA Association or whatever, and she's super nice, and she said, yeah, it takes between 3 and 6 months now.
That's awesome.
But I've seen, if you go on Facebook and see these veterans, it can take forever. And like, I had to go to a doctor to say, I guess get evaluated by the doctor to say, yeah, he's got it, or no, he doesn't. And the term was more likely than not. Is that?
Yeah.
Or as likely as not, or more.
There's always weird, like.
It basically means, yeah, you got it from wartime stuff if you have PTSD.
Yeah.
Or from the military, during your military. It's worded different, but they always go in favor with a term like that. They always go in favor of the veteran.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
That's good.
So I'm really lucky, and I think I'm really lucky. I've seen a lot of and heard of a ton of horror stories. So I'm still kind of pinching myself that.
Yeah, and I think too, people are still, because even the system is still trying to figure out what it is and how it's caused. Because even like me, like I said, I wasn't in any imminent threat. I wasn't blown up. I was near simulated rounds, which are the same as rounds, except they're not going to hurt anybody unless somebody's being dumb that day. But mine, like, you just have to have your mind caved in a little bit and your soul caved in a little bit. Like, there's just and whatever it takes to do that to you. And I think the VA is getting better at realizing that, because they're like, oh, these people who have just regular sad jobs are wrecked. Or people who have, like, or just watched terrible shit happen. Like, oh, well, they weren't in a car accident. So, well, staring at it for an hour and a half is going to fuck with you a little bit, too. So,
Yeah.
or just knowing.
Well, look at
now.
A Clockwork Orange, what they put that guy through.
Mm-hmm.
Weird movie, I know. And
yeah. We'll have to do a movie night about that one.
if you have seen The Clockwork Orange, you know what kind of state of mind you must be in to watch it. But the gist of they were trying to reform him from being a terrible person. Basically, they just gave him PTSD.
Yeah.
You know? So he's like, I won't do anything anymore. What was he, like, when he was faced with violence, would he pee himself? Or he would just cower. I don't know. I forget which. But
it was something.
Or throw up. He would get sick.
Yeah, get nauseous.
Yeah, that was it.
I'm terribly sick, sir. Terribly sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I can watch that movie anymore. I think I'm a little too old for that. Well, that's a young man's movie.
Yeah.
So,
it's, yeah.
Oh, another thing for people that want to file, you can follow stuff online, and it'll give you a range. Okay. When you first file, it'll say people with similar cases to yours. Expected decision is, say, December 31st, 2020. That date always changes. I mean, it could change daily, hourly. So, I mean, just before I got my decision, it said May of 2020 or March of 2020.
And is that this website? Uh-oh. Where's my buttons? Here we are, buttons. Waka! So I'm showing them, but here, let me show you too.
VA.gov.
Can't leave you out, buddy. Boom. So, yay, now everybody can see. This is the Veterans Benefits Administration. Is this?
I don't know if it's just my phone, but it's flashing.
I think it's just yours that it's flashing, luckily.
Okay, now just the top is flashing, but we're good.
So it's got the steps for before you get out of the service, vocational rehabilitation, disability compensation, benefits for veterans. We could read the whole list, but that would be kind of irritating for everyone.
Yeah.
But this is benefits.va.gov/benefits/applying. But look for benefits.va.gov, and that'll get you in the door. And as you can see, they've got pretty much all the things you can qualify for and the head start on getting there for yourself. So at least investigate what the process entails. And you'll also find pretty quickly in this that, like Iggy said, you might as well just go ahead and get a lawyer, because this stuff sucks. It's a lot of hassle, and it's good to have a pro on your side.
And they navigate it pretty well. And the lawyers, make sure whatever lawyer you go through has access to this certain system for the VA that only they can see. I mean, like lawyers and I think whoever else. There's a whole separate thing that they can see. Make sure whoever you go to has access to that, because otherwise they're just as clueless as you are.
Oh, that's a good thing. So they need to be like advertising themselves as some kind of, well, probably not advertising per se, but they need to be certified or specialized in.
Well, I don't know. No, I mean, I think any lawyer can file. I think I could file for you if I wanted, but
yeah.
No, they have to, and I forget what it is. I wasn't prepared, but they can see more than we can, because like something would pop up and we'd be like, oh man, this sucks. You know, they added 2 more months onto this. So my wife would call and they'd be like, no, we see it here and it's still this. That's just what they do, you know. So it kind of, it'll settle you down because it's a roller coaster seeing these dates.
Yeah, yeah. I just
And
take
I wrote a letter, get as much evidence as you can. My wife wrote a letter, you know, not that they asked us to, just, you know, you're trying to prove your case. I mean, I knew I was, you know, 2 nuggets short of a 6-pack, but
yeah.
and I knew anybody they talked to would back me up because that motherfucker crazy, you know, he just is.
Yeah.
So
And anything you think you're going to be able to get across when you're speaking, likely not, because the amount of time you actually get to speak to a person in this process is very limited because there's so many people kind of running through. And so when you go to your eval, it might be a few hours, which is good, but a few hours sometimes is not enough to even get through
well,
what you're going through.
the doctor that I saw, it was maybe 20 minutes, half hour.
That's more likely is that
Yeah.
kind of time frame. Is you're in, you're out. How
And
nervy are you?
it's not what you I don't know what they look for and what they do, but I mean it was almost I was really comfortable going in, you know? And it's like you're almost like, why didn't they ask me more? Did they get what they needed? You know? And I don't know. The doctor that I talked to was great, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, and it's hard. I mean, they probably, I don't know how many people they see a day, and they got to judge on 20 minutes my whole life and if I'm crazy or not.
Right.
You know,
Right. And then,
and you know, they guess wrong and they totally kill someone's life. You know, that's a lot of with great responsibility or with great power.
yeah. And there's some people who enjoy doing that too, which is a bummer. They're like, "Fuck this dude."
Yeah.
Bah. You're like, all right, you didn't.
Right. He didn't wear the right socks when he came in today, or
Yeah.
he smelled of Brussels sprouts and onions. Be like, okay, that guy's screwed because he ate the wrong thing for lunch.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I'm sure it can get that petty.
I can't even imagine the weird madness that it's mostly because people's jobs suck to a degree that is just untenable. Like, it's just a bummer. There's no. I can't think of any job out there where I'm like, oh, that'd be fun. I see a lot of jobs where I'm like, fuck, that would suck a little less than the others.
Right.
And even like, the crazy thing too is like, we said we always enjoy, love it when it sucks, wish it sucked more. I don't mind if the activity isn't good. It just needs to be meaningful.
Right.
That's the hard one. Is there's no meaningful jobs. There's like, I don't know. I could sell other people's shit to them. But
well, you know what? You know what the greatest thing was? Sorry, just getting back to the VA thing. It was when I was awarded whatever percentage, my 70%. I felt vindicated.
Yeah.
You know, like, see, I proved myself. You looked into it, and it's legit. I'm not trying to screw you over. I just need some help, and I'm sure there's people that try to screw over the system, but unfortunately. But
it's a weird feeling. Did you feel, was it like a weird vindication for you? Because for me, it was definitely.
Well, I think it's like on paper that you're certifiably nuts.
Yeah, it was definitely odd fighting for like, hey, I'm crazy and I'm fucked up and I'm helpless and it's like am I bragging? What is this? What am I doing right now?
Right. Now here's what I was trying to convey, like PTSD, okay? So I don't like big groups. I hate big groups. I will not go around big groups. This is churches, malls, whatever.
Yeah.
Big gatherings. Freak me out.
Yeah.
So I mostly stay home.
Hands where I can see them, folks.
Yeah. So you're scared. It's basically you're scared.
Yeah.
Okay. It's scared that something's going to happen. Okay. So PTSD makes you scared of life. No. So you're walking around scared, but then you want to kill yourself all the time.
Yeah.
So you're like,
that's a bummer. Because there's the part of like, well, like, life's really worth it. You're like, it's also terrifying though. Like, fuck,
right.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's like, oh, maybe I should get out more and try, You're like, but you're going to die anyway.
Yeah, dude,
Like,
we should do a movie night about What About Bob, because that's baby
yeah.
steps, bro. My mom and dad, that's their probably most effective psychological training they've undergone is watching What About Bob and applying that to me. And I'm like, baby steps, baby steps.
Well, now I'm more like Corky Romano, but with weed, not coke. like, like questions. Want to buy a boat? Questions.
Yeah,
I think I'll paint my house.
Well, it turns out that whole madness of poking around and like that's all just pure anxiety. Apparently, that's just a PTSD thing too. That's so we thought maybe I kind of thought I had an inkling. I was like maybe it's a head injury because I can't fucking do this. Nobody will say it's this. Nobody will say it's that. Da, da, da. And then I finally just gave into the idea of like, okay, maybe it is one of the things we've already identified. And then so I look, I read a little bit more, I look a little bit more, and a lot of people who have PTSD and anxiety can't pay attention to shit. And it's the same process.
You said, right, we're all like that. And what you said made a lot of sense to me is find your new normal.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. I guess you can strive to be the person you used to be, but you're not going to be ever.
Yeah, that snake skin is way gone.
Yeah, right. And I was talking to I have a buddy that's going through a really, really bad time. And I thought he may need to move in with me, to help out, get his life together. And I said, I known him since high school. And I said, I'm not the dude I was. I said, you need to realize this. I said, I need zero drama in my life. I said, I'm giving you a house, a roof over your head, heat, and a, place to cook your food. But I said, that's it. I said, you need a car.
Surprise prostitute, and you are out of here.
Yeah.
2,
I'm like,
maybe.
You need a ride somewhere? Find it. You need this? Get it.
Yeah, man.
I got it. And I said, I'm sorry, but this is who I am now. And
yeah, it's hard because.
Well, and the hard part is, like, you're younger than me. I think you're 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So
35.
you have, and I'm looking at this maybe till I may live to 80 or 90 if I don't off myself first. But, it's half a joke and half not. But, no, I mean, that's the sad thing is this is what you need, and I get to look forward to for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
and you're like, this is what I got to deal with? Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, there's no amount of money. I mean, the VA thing, it was nice when they said, yes, you have PTSD 100%. You're like, fuck yeah, I know it.
I told you. And then, they're not paying really well, which is nice. They're still paying below inflation, which is, I think, illegal. But they're still doing it anyway.
And their 70% mark, you got to hit. Well, you really got to hit 100 before anything. It barely gets to 2,000, I think, for 90%, and then it just peaks over 2,000 a month for 90%, and then if you get 100, it goes like up to 32 or 34 or $3,600 a month.
And then they take out Social Security, which I didn't realize for the longest time. I apparently also have Medicaid. Pay attention to that, disabled folks. Because if you're getting disability, they're taking out Social Security disability. So you could and should also apply for SSD because they're likely to give you whatever your VA rating is. They'll give you their equivalent version. So, because I get like because it comes out to like $2,700 after. That's what they drop in my account every month.
Yeah.
So it's not great. It's not ideal. But it beats shit out of nothing. It's It used to be pretty good, like 4 or 5 years ago. However, like I really haven't been paid much more than I was 4 or 5 years ago, and so housing prices have gone up, and my rent my paycheck just isn't worth shit anymore.
But people, okay, so like like me, I 70% for me is like $1,600 a month.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's not what people think it is.
Right.
You know,
No.
wife still works. You know, and but you hear people like you that say, and I know other people that make like over $4,000 a month easy with their disabilities through the military and you're like, wow, that's a lot of money. But basically, they're paying us because we don't really go anywhere or do anything. A lot of us,
Yeah.
the PTSD people, basically,
we're indoor cats.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not afraid to go out, but this is my world. This is where this is where shit happens.
Yeah, it's and then even if you do like I'm not one to I like to walk around cities and stuff like that. I like to do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
But but it's because I can still feel kind of isolated in like super big crowds. But like I don't think I could deal with like a bowling alley size crowd. That would be
I would go to those places towards the nighttime when it wasn't as busy.
yeah. Oh, I could do vampire stuff if we were
Yeah.
allowed to be like nighttime creatures. I've always said that if I was a radical politician, I would make all businesses open 24 hours a day. And then everybody's got 3 shifts they got to hire for now. Fucking what now? What? We invented light bulbs how many years ago?
What?
Get on it.
Well, it's easy for you to say. You don't got to pay them.
Well, it wouldn't even matter because all of us like, oh, I have to hire a 3rd shift at my Wendy's. Yeah, you already do now, but I have to hire a 3rd shift at this place, 3rd shift at that place. Well, everybody else is too. So like, there will be an economy supporting it, and then well, it's also kind of preposterous too because if you look at like how many people work late night, they don't have access to like human behavior most of the time because everybody has weird fucking hours where they're like, we're only open between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. And you're like, no one can do this. And they're like, well, tough. And like, you can't even go to stuff because you're at work half the time. Like, museums should be open 24 hours a day. Come on.
I think we need to go back to the root of this thing now.
Vampires.
Dowries.
Dowries?
Dowries should come back because there's real dolls now. We don't need women.
I don't even understand. Dowries would be problematic because nobody could afford to get married.
No, you get money. You get married off the dowry.
Wait, somebody pays you to get married? What
country?
No,
the daughter. Don't you know what a dowry is?
Yeah.
When the daughter, the family of the daughter gives you like the daughter like 4 pigs to marry the daughter.
Oh, see, in other cultures, you got to pay the dad. In some cultures, I mean, I've heard it just as common that you got to pay the dad.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, bro. We're gonna just be engaged for a long time.
No, it should be for the men.
It's gonna take a minute until I get that many cows. I don't know. I think most of those, everything out there. What is the thought that I'm dovetailing or not? That's not the right word, but you get it. Spinning.
I'm trying to talk television. There's something shiny. Oh fuck! What's that?
Dude, yeah, brains are awesome. No, they're not. Oh, man.
I gotta go out and get some Taco Bell, man.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Well, you got Grubhub by you. I don't think we have that shit out here.
Yeah, dude. That's also why I'm like, I could get. My dad keeps saying, he's like, you should get a double wide or something like that. I'm like, I don't want all of my prescriptions stolen. That seems like. I'm sure there's some good ones, but I haven't. And then the other thing is, I don't like you said, we're indoor cats. So, like,
yeah,
I don't want my indoors to be. That's not what's going to do it for me. Like, I'm realizing, like, because I'm looking for a loft, like a split level loft or something like that, because I think what I need to tell a real estate agent is just imagine you're finding a place for a gorilla, and then just do that. Like, if you think a gorilla would do well in here, that's what you get from me. But make sure it has a nice
You
kitchen.
know what? I just thought of a great idea for you. You need to
Move into the zoo.
no those I don't know what they're called.
Gorillas.
They're just little places with it's basically a mattress and a cubby hole that you can stay the night. You know, what are they called? They're like in cities. You know, it's not. It's like a community area, like a community
Sounds like commies.
hotel. It's
Hostel?
like a hostel.
Where you get murdered?
No, not like the movies.
I don't want to get murdered. That would be a bummer.
No, what are they called? They're just. I don't know how to explain them.
Barracks? Are there barracks we can move into? Do I still get NCO barracks? I'll share
like a bunch of open-minded people. Basically, it's a cubby hole with a mattress that you just spend the night, you know, and you pay per day like a hotel. But there's like a common shower area. There's a common, well, men's and women's, but common. Cool. And then like a common kitchen area. That's what you need. So you could do the show and you'd be like, anybody in here know how to edit? And be like, yeah, I do. Be like, you can stay for free if you fucking edit this shit.
Dude, I think that needs to be part of the deployment center when we get the big structure. That'll be the lodging policy.
Right.
Stay as long as you can work. I don't
you need to know how to do something.
Dude, I would be completely because like I want to have the chow hall thing where we just run a DFAC and serve the crazy kind of food we made back in there.
Oh, dude, those fucking ribs or those pork ribs. What were they?
Oh, the pork chops and the mushroom and all that. Hmm?
Oh, Billy!
And then if we had like play to pay or whatever it is, like kind of lodging where you just work and you get a room.
Yeah.
Or if you're in school, or we come up with something. Who gives a shit? Like I don't like barriers to entry. I think that's ridiculous. If I have a thing somebody needs, let's figure out how to get it in their hands. But because I think like my big idea is like in my head, I'm realizing like, oh, this is how feudalism started. Like I want to collect all these things and then give them to my friends, and it's like, oh yeah, that's precisely how feudalism starts. Is you grab up big chunks of shit and then divvy it up amongst other people, and so that might not be good. But so far, that's where I'm headed. But I want to get the base. Like it's still a 5-year plan. We'll see what happens. I'm thinking next year we'll start getting the road show figured out. And then
what is that building? What you get off? Wait, you get off the 75 on the Southfield Freeway, and you're heading. So you get on the Southfield Freeway, and you're heading south towards. What is that other 94?
Is it at the big spaghetti junction there? The big
Oh, there's a big fucking building.
Yeah, on the
tracks. You need something like that.
That's the one I want, dude. I don't know how much it's worth or if it's even worth getting, but who gives a shit? Like
it's beautiful, just like it is.
I'm sure we got some CE buddies. They can help us hook it up. Like,
yeah. Listen, we need 42,000 window panes. No, really, 42. Okay, 42,001.
Yeah, does building 305 exist? Let's get those. If they're tearing that bitch down, let's get them windows.
They could make scary movies in there. We could make money that way.
Dude,
the drug addicts.
Training center. We could have like an indoor kill room for cops and like military to train and shit. You got the 1775th Military Police. You got the 127th Security Forces. You got all kinds of cops who could use a place to do shoot 'em up kind of shit. And then we could have the podcast and the training center and this like all because. Okay, I'm going to calm down because I think this is the interesting selling point, is that we don't have to have a place that does any one specific thing, because it
won't do one specific thing.
Right. Like, we want a place that can handle whatever the hell needs to be handled, I think. And if, whatever it needs to turn into or whatever we can turn it into, yeah, baby. It's, because that kind of capability is what...
It's a living, breathing building.
Yeah. And that kind of flexibility gives it longevity, but it's also that's what gives it any kind of sustainability.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what
and
we
it comes
find.
out of this. Well, and most of it will come out of necessity. Like we were trying to think of every possible thing we could use it for, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be a million more that'll pop up that we didn't think of that we'll need to address and add on and find time for. And
Oh yeah, and at the
the
minimum,
great part is so many these veterans aren't listened to,
yeah,
you know. And this is a place where you could just come.
yeah,
Coffee, you know. I would love if there's regulars that come down there and just shoot the shit and give us hard times and
mm-hmm.
and just sit and talk with us. I mean, that's the thing, that the people connection, the veteran
Yeah.
connect thing that gets me.
Or even think about like, because what's some kind of amazing stuff we had on base that they don't have in the civilian world?
The
Because like,
fix-it shop for the cars.
I was thinking that too the other day when I hit a pothole. I was like,
That
dude,
is awesome. I used it. I used that place.
because we had the motor pool, which was specifically for vehicle maintenance of all the military stuff. But we had a do-it-yourself garage that had tools and stuff, and people
And
supervised it.
lifts.
Yeah, lifts, and so you could change your oil in there. You could do anything you wanted in there as long as there was a stall and there was time available. Like that would be great.
And I think it was like $10 a day or something for the lift. It was stupid cheap.
Yeah, and because how many people know how to fix their car but don't have all the nonsense there, or how many
Right.
people would just rather learn how to fix it themselves?
Well, and at Fort Leonard Wood, when I was at tech school, they had like a carpentry center, but you learned how to make a frame, mat and frame pictures, and then there was another part where you learned this and learned that. I mean, those were awesome places.
There's a lot of STEAM and STEM labs popping up that have that kind of stuff. I think like if we could make a super powered, just open to the public STEAM, STEM, like what, and then because especially like we know for sure that we want to have the podcast and the recording and like music and all that because we're understanding that it's just crucial to have that in there. But like in addition, then we could also have people recording like, okay, you can have your cooking show podcast, you can have your woodworking podcast, you can have your like if we manage to figure out how to record training in each session or in each area or each what have you, because that's the other part of what we're trying to figure out too is like how do we teach people, the interesting stuff that we've learned in our experience throughout here. So
Well, I
best way
think
is
we
just
would
to
just
show you.
you would have I mean, one idea is like have a calendar
Mm-hmm.
and have what people are willing to teach and what night and what time.
Yeah.
And by process of elimination, we'll find out what's popular and what's not,
Mm-hmm.
And what people want to learn or
And just keep it running. And then, if we
Right.
don't have any kind of TED Talks going on, we'll do karaoke night. Because who cares?
right.
We got a big screen and speakers. Let's go nuts. Let's do whatever.
Right.
In the words of the man in pink, and then purple, and then sometimes blue. Let's go crazy.
Let's get nuts. I just watched that the other day. God, Apollonia was hot.
Big Apple in Greek. I don't know.
Got to cleanse yourself in Lake Winnetonka. Woo! That ain't Lake Winnetonka.
Dude, my favorite Prince song is I'm sheepish about the title because it's Pussy Control. Dude, it's so good. That's the one. I sing that like a Queen song. I just belt that in the car.
Yeah. Yep. I cleaning the house, and that comes on. Oh, it's fucking on. Control. Yeah, that's it. The gold experience. If you like Prince, get the gold experience.
Mm-hmm.
They're all great, but
Yeah.
I especially like that one.
Also, don't buy pills from strangers.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I think we're good. You're
Yeah.
passing out, and I forget.
Yeah. So we just wanted to check in with everybody, say, hey, we're still keeping at it. We've got big ideas and big heads still. So that's a good thing.
We're not a cult.
Not
Oh,
yet.
my head got shaved yesterday because it was growing back and I was going to do it. And then I looked, and you ever notice those guys where it's like thinning just in here, but this is full? I'm like, I was looking at him like, I told my wife, I'm like, does this have that thinning shit in it? I'm like, because I will not wear my hair like that. And she goes, well, kind of. I'm like, it's going off.
Yeah, dude. I have the very magical wispy hair at the top. It is a disaster. There's hair. It'll grow, but it's aggressively thin. It's not good. It's...
I'd like a poll. How many PTSD military personnel have shaved heads?
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I'd be really interested in the women.
And also I'd like to know how many do it for the look and how many do it because they don't feel like buying shampoo anymore.
Right. Right.
I can just use one soap now.
I can wash the sorrow and shame away.
They make it all in one now in a pump.
Get out of there. You've been in there for 2 hours. Is it that long? Crying has no time limit.
I'm not pruning yet. Yeah, dude. All right, gang. Well, thank you so much for following and doing all that stuff. The likes and the subscribes and the... We suck at marketing. If that weren't obvious by now, something's wrong with you. So, we love you, gang. I've been Steve.
Josh, Iggy.
All right, gang. I'm going to say gang
Love
a few more times because I am losing my mind.